Dear Mom, seeing you upset so often has made me worried and more alert of my actions and attitude. I've been thinking of what and how I would write to you if I had this chance. I am so sorry for everything, not just for my mistakes, but for your family's children's mistakes. I'm sorry that you didn't have enough in life from me for you to feel loved and cared about by me. Thank you for loving me. I always want to thank you for giving up everything for me. I'm so thankful that you keep me and you try to raise me right instead of taking the easy way out. I'm so sorry for all the times I do all the things so wrong, taking advantage of you, being a brat, making things more hard and difficult for you. I'm sorry. To be honest, I just want to be loved and I want to love. I think of this beautiful picture of what my life would be if that is how I felt. I don't like what I see, and I don't want to be alone anymore. My daughter and my family have been heavily impacted by mental illness. I never imagined in a million years the impact this would have when it entered our family and into our home. I thought for the longest time there had to have been something that I didn't do. As a parent, I missed it. I didn't raise her right. I didn't give her the things that she needed. I wasn't there enough. Maybe I worked too much. Maybe the struggle in relationships. I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out. I went knocking on every door, asking for help for her. Even through history, times have not changed. The stigmas of tattooing people to identify a deformity or a mental illness, to a yellow bracelet post-war for the Jews to indicate a deformity, or even a pink bracelet, a stigma against the sexuality. It was never about a serial number or bracelet. It's never even been about the illness itself. It's been about the stigmas attached to it and the impact that they bring to us. It would never have mattered how much money we had, or how much education or social status that we have in our family. It was about what society couldn't see. It started with a social safety network. There was no place, once the damage was done, where she could feel safe. My daughter has been heavily impacted by mental illness. She suffers from depression concurrently now with addictions. I have tried everything possible to get her help. I've knocked on every door, I've approached every resource, and I've been told, Rachel, I'm sorry, but there's nothing for her. I could see a decline. I could see a significant decline in her personality, her relationships within the family, and even social relationships outside of the house. The height of it really started when the bullying came. The name calling just pushed her so far beyond what she felt safe. It pushed her beyond her capacity. She couldn't see what was going on at that point anymore. When I tried to put those safety nets in place for her, she just withdrew even further. It became more about a social isolation now and fear. She didn't want to go to school. She didn't want to be a part of a group. I couldn't incorporate her in any activities. she completely shut down. From the name calling to the multiple moves we made as a family to try and keep her safe. From there, she dropped out of school, running away from home, addictions, substance abuse, alcohol, drunk. I can't even explain what it was like as a parent. I never knew where she was half the time. I waited for the phone call at 2 a.m. from police, which did happen on multiple occasions. I feared for her life. She threatened multiple times that she was going to take her life. She began self-harm behaviors, cutting, tried to hang herself multiple occasions. And still, even with that, it wasn't enough. There was no help. We cried out as a family, but I cried out as a mom and as a parent in our community that I felt was in crisis. We had 15 reported suicides in the hardest year with her. This was the headline of our newspaper, and I still couldn't get a response. It went back to, be glad she's not here, she's still over here. But to me, every meeting that we had, I kept saying, it's my daughter. It's not somebody who lives in Sarnia. It's not a 15-year-old girl. It's my daughter. And I can't imagine my life without her. And I can't stand to see the pain that she's experiencing, and I can't do anything to help her. We tried and we tried. As a family, we've tried. As a community, we reach out. We've depended on our church family and friends. We've depended on my family, my dad. We've depended on friends, but it's still not resolved. There's still the need, there's still the gap, and there's still the crisis. It's just more hidden now because we haven't had a recent death. Nothing's come to the headline of the newspaper to say another youth has taken their life in Sarnia. For me, the fight is not over, and for my daughter, it's not either. Right now, we're currently on an upstream. She's back in school. This is the first time in 2 years she's been back to school. And for me, I'm grateful. For her, I couldn't imagine how it feels for her to be back doing what she needs to be doing. We still struggle. It's an uphill battle. It's a bumpy road. It's not consistent. She still falls back, but we're still here and we're not giving up. We're not quitting. It comes now to the end of the day, really based on our faith. Our faith holds me together, keeps me standing, and it keeps her standing. I just end the day every night on my knees, saying to God, I know this is our child, but I just need a little more time with her. Please help us. Let her see her worth and her value. And help her to understand that it's not over. And as a community and as a family, we will come together. We need to stop the stigma, stop the discrimination, and stop the prejudice. We need to stop turning a blind eye to the people in need. We need to relinquish the fear. It's not just our children, it's our neighbors, it's our family, it's our friends. And together we need to come and support one another so that we're not in this crisis any longer. Please help stop the stigma.
I think one of the biggest problems we're facing today is actually the stigma associated with mental health. It's very hard for people who struggle with this to move forward because they don't feel they can open up to anybody. In fact, this is what I'm running into as I'm dealing with people all the time. And the people who do open up and share, they find that there's very few people they feel comfortable with because they know the stigma is there. Sometimes there's no one. I might be the first person they come to. This really does have to change. We know that if someone struggles with an affliction that is physical, they may have a broken arm or something like that they have no problem letting people know. But when it's a mental health issue, that is very difficult to do because of the stigmas that are in place. And we have had those there for a very long time. In fact, I don't know if they've ever not been around. It doesn't seem to be huge steps forward right now. But we need to change this. The change needs to be a goal of elimination of the stigma. That people can feel free and easy to open and share when they battle with mental health issues. And we understand that the church historically sometimes has actually been part of the problem. But we seek to, especially here at this church, to be part of the solution. To surround people with love and to let them know that they have value and worth and that they can share and be transparent. We need to be real with each other so we can help each other. This is a community effort. And so we're asking people to join us, individuals and groups, that we can start really a revolution to not just change the stigma, but to eliminate it, so that those who battle with mental health issues can move forward towards restoration, health and wholeness, and enjoy life to its fullest.